having a Z or a Z debate, and I don't know what I'm going to do here. We've all heard of baby boomers, Gen X, Y and Gen Z. But have you ever come across the Boomerang generation? It's a name given to millennials who fly the coop only to return and come back and sort of live in that coop with their
like
parents.
a boomerang, just keep coming back. Yeah. According to research, adult children who return to live with their parents cause a significant decline in mum and dad's quality of life and well-being.
For more, we're joined by Dr. Justin Coulson. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Justin.
Let's be real. Is it okay to want the kids to sort of get out of the house?
I think that it's natural, normal, and who doesn't, right? I mean, we love our kids, but can you please just leave us alone? Yeah, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but as they get older, they start to want to impose their will on us. I mean, we're the parents, we're used to imposing our will on theirs, and now they're sloppy, they don't clean up their dishes, or they won't clean their room, or we feel like they're at uni or they're at work, but we're still waking them up, and they're grown-ups. You know, they come home at all hours, and we worry about them, and they don't feel like they're accountable to us anymore. Just get out and live your own life.
OK, so how do we tell them that they can't, if they've gone out, they've tried their thing, you know, somebody else has moved out of the share place they were having, so they've got to come back to you. You can't tell them that they can't come home. Surely that's not OK.
Why?
Well, I'm asking, is that OK?
Well, I think that it is. Yeah, I mean, as parents, we want the very best for our children, and we want them to have a stable foundation. Now, there will unquestionably be circumstances in their lives that require more support and circumstances that require less support. And as parents, we need to know when to step in and when to step out. So if you've got a child that's gone through something traumatic as an adult and they don't have anywhere to go and they desperately need help, then of course you're going to open the doors and say, please come back.
So is this Boomerang thing a real thing? We're seeing more millennials move back in with their folks now?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, not only are we seeing more move back in, but we're seeing fewer kids moving out in the first place.
Right, sure.
We call it adult essence. Instead of adolescence, it's adult essence, and they're just staying at home for longer because the transition to adulthood is taking longer, uni takes longer, and finding a career that will support a lifestyle out of the home takes longer. So they're staying at home, and why wouldn't you? My oldest doesn't want to go anywhere, it costs too much.
What about the sense of, I don't know, is there a sense of shame at still living at mum and dad's when you could be 30? I mean, are kids reluctant to admit that, or do they not mind these days because, quite frankly, that's a situation all of their friends find themselves in anyway? Right,
it's an individual thing, and I think that people are very much swayed by their peer group, and what their peers are doing, they'll do the same. But there's certainly a lot less stigma now about being in your 20s and still being at home. And I still hear stories from parents, you know, they'll email me, they'll say, my 28-year-old son is still bringing his washing home. Is that normal? Should I still be doing his washing and ironing? My response is always no, don't. Well, just cut it out.
I'm 53, I still take my washing home to mum.
We need to talk to you, Mum.
Now, we said that it can be detrimental to a relationship, but it's got to be some positives in there as well. What are the benefits of living with your kids when they've sort of they've got an adult life?
Can I just have a minute to think about that?
Yeah. One benefit will be fine, just to justify the question.
Yeah, look, it's a really tough one because the research shows that pretty much once the kids move back, after they've gone, parental well-being does decline. I think that there's something wonderful about being close as a family, and it's really nice to be able to, you know, if you've got younger kids, rely on the older kids to help out around the home, take on a little bit of the load, a bit of the responsibility. You might charge them some board or some rent. I mean, they've been paying it outside the home, so when they come back, they can contribute as well. So there are those kinds of practical advantages. But from a lifestyle perspective, from a, you know, you're cramping my style perspective, it's not a win.
Okay. Good to see. You're right?
Yeah.
Like you've taken all that in.
Yes, yeah, well, no, I'm not there.
I'm
not there yet. Mine's still 13 and 15, and I am enjoying having them home. I don't want them to leave.
Enjoy that. Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Well, it's okay, I'm allowed to.